I need to go over there. I need to eat.
What was
Got
that,
an
Augie?
upset stomach.
Who, what, where, what? What? Who's got an upset stomach?
My agent.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Augie's running away from zombies. We do our best to try to, yeah, ignore the people with mobile phones walking around, don't we? We just want to get out our AK-47s and just take them out. Yeah, anyway, good morning, everybody. How is everybody today? David popped in a little message there, sort of said he's a little bit looking for a little bit more information on the 90-day reporting thing because he was told recently by somebody supposedly. Why is that thing not scrolling up? Yes, since I've been living in Bangkok, I have done 90-day reporting by registered mail because I was told the registered mail receipt from the Thai post office is proof that it was sent in case it is lost. A few days ago, I was told by the reputable visa agent that all cases, if I don't get the 90-day receipt, which is what they give you back, and I don't, yeah, that's right. There's a little stub. There's a little stub
Yeah.
form. I've got to remember. Yeah, so it's in mine. Yeah, which gives you the stub tells you the next reporting day. So that's when that's the registered day that you have to report next time. So you do need that receipt. But if you don't, if the registry receipt posted as proof it was sent in case it was lost. After a few days ago, I was told by a reputable agent that in all cases, if I don't get the receipt, I would have to go to immigration, report all over again, and pay the 2,000 baht late fee. Yeah, it does leave a bit of the onus on them, the whole system to work flawlessly. I haven't heard any cases where it has been a problem. Nothing's really come up recently in the news about that. But I know they are cracking down a little bit on some of the processes. Well, I only did mine a few weeks ago, and same as usual. I had my passport in, and go sit one, and then they just out you go, and no questions, all done easy. But that's Nakhon Pathom. But yeah, Bangkok province has always been one of those places where. Turn my monitor around there. There you go. Where they stick to the rules, no matter how bizarre they are. So I don't know. The only thing I can say, have you tried the online reporting? It's fairly straightforward. You seem to be pretty into the computer communications thing, so I don't think it'll present any sort of problems with you. The only time I've done it when I was out here, I did it one time out here.
AFK. I've got my landlord's here. I won't be long.
Okay, yeah. So I did the online reporting for Nakhon Pathom, and I was rejected on that one. And the only thing I could put it down to, I never got a clear indication why. When it comes to the address part, I could not put my whole address in the address part, and it didn't have drop-down boxes for my Tambord and Amphor. So I just put in Nakhon Pathom, and yeah, it didn't work. So I never bothered doing it again. So I'm not going to try to argue with them. It works when I drop into the drop in, hand my passport. It all works. So it's all good. And it's a nice day out for a ride or a drive or whatever we're doing. David, therefore, the idea that the Thai post registered mail receipt will protect us is, well, it is. It's part of the process, but as I think Chris sort of said, you could have posted in blank sheets of paper. They need to actually get a report. So I suppose it's a twofold thing, and you could argue the fact that you sent it in, and they could argue that they never received it. Well, they'd have to then show due cause the fact that registered mail got to them right in the required amount of, well, in that time window. That's all. That's what your receipt from EMS is going to do. It's basically saying, I sent this to you. Show me that envelope. And that's the way you would have to approach it. And then it's up to them to sort of say we never received it. Then of course you can blame EMS. And I don't know about the 2,000 baht fine. It's one of those sort of things that can be quite a long, convoluted story. Best thing is, like, a lot of Jerry's people, inverted commas, a lot of the people I know in Bangkok, they still use agents. They're quite happy to spend, 3,000 or 4,000 baht and get somebody to do it for them, It's basically, quite a simple process for them, as far as they're concerned. But yeah, I just like the little drive, I'd like to drive out there. It was only just down the road before, but the drive out there or the ride out there just breaks the day, gives you something to do on a Wednesday. Right,
Still talking about the...
Yep, I was just catching up on that one. Dildo's gone to sleep, so yeah.
Brian Martin Bill, who's having his honeymoon on Kangaroo Island in South Australia. He's the guy I went to the wedding for in Australia.
He's on his honeymoon. He's gone fishing.
Yeah.
She must be a tolerant woman.
Yeah, he's got a good catch.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Yeah. Also on that immigration stuff, we were talking offline when I was in Australia about the TM30 reporting your residence and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And I was reading on some of the boards and everything that you have to do it when you come back from overseas, even though you're going back to the same residence. And I went down to the Rayong immigration, and they did confirm. This is all immigration areas are slightly different.
Yeah.
But they did confirm that you had to do that. So whether that's been in place for a long time, Mayor Groves would probably be able to answer that. But yeah, you have to, even though you're going back to the same residence, you have to report when you come back into the country, when you leave. And technically, every time you go somewhere else. So for example, I go to a hotel on
In
Koh
a
Samui
in a
Coast.
different province, yeah.
Yeah. You have to report to immigration and get them. They just re-stamped it and put a signature next to it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so the TM30, although it's no longer a news item, it's still a fairly functional thing. It is a requirement of the landlord to report your whereabouts when you leave the country. You are basically, you're exiting the country. If you've got a return stub, or re-entry, what do they call it, re-entry authorization, as you come in, you're supposed to, within 24 hours, the landlord is supposed to just jump online and say he's back online, right? And that's all. Basically, if they got the app on their phone, the landlord just ding, ding, ding. And if we were to go and do the same thing, apart from the fact that we go to Sukhothai all the time and we don't give a fuck about it, I technically I would have to do it then as well.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to hassle my landlord, so I've got awesome landlords. That was just them there buzzing on the front door. I brought back they've got a little daughter. She's 3, and I brought her back a little kangaroo from Australia just to make her happy. She sort of enjoys visiting, so I thought I'd get her a little kangaroo. So
and again, but on that situation with me and with Sukhothai, when we visit Sukhothai, technically, if I arrived in Sukhothai and somebody says, "Okay, we need you to do we'll have to do the TM30,"
you'd have to do one.
Then it's on Then it's on record that I've just moved to Sukhothai for those 3 days, and when I got back, I would have to get shown to log back into the app and then do it again. But because of the fact that nobody's reporting up there, there's no registration. The fact that I've left here to go to there.
Yeah.
So it's a real grey area. Technically, you're supposed to do it, but who wants to upset people, and get people to get out of their comfort zone, especially in Sukhothai,
Yeah. But I mean, I thought I'd do the right thing and go to immigration because I didn't want to hassle the landlords. Because if last time I had to do it, I had to get his wife to come with me with their Tabian barn and everything like that, and do that sort of thing. So I thought but rather than just saying, "Hey, I need you guys to do it again," I'll go to immigration and double check what the requirements are. And technically, yes, you're meant to
Yeah,
report in. So, is it true staying in hotels, hotel reports immigration? Yes, yes, Chris, that is true.
That's the one.
They have to. That's most of the time. That's why they take a copy of your passport, so it goes with the hotel reporting of the TM30.
You know, and when we did that patio trip last time, you know, although there was a hotel, you know, check-in,
Yep.
there was no TM30 filled out.
No, well, the hotel does it through their computer system. They do it online.
Well,
So when they
what details are they going to use? I've just fucking logged in via Agoda and fucking given Agoda my details for a fucking credit card.
Well, when we're there, they took a copy of my driver's license, which has
Did
the
they?
passport number on it. Yeah,
I don't recall that.
yeah, yeah.
No, I don't recall them taking any details off me. That's all. Were you in the same hotel? Did you go to the same hotel as me? Well, you were next door, weren't you? Yeah.
No, yeah, I was next door. Me, you, and Jerry.
Yeah, I just don't recall them actually taking my driver's license.
Yeah, they
or
did.
anything. Yeah.
They did. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe I should have done it then, but you know, so nobody's come and said anything.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to immigration 4 times since then. There's nothing been said, so it's all good. A lot of information required. Term 47. Where are we? Was it post? Yeah, Chris sort of said posting should be last resort. Yeah, I would probably go that way as well. But yeah, it's whatever's convenient, really.
It depends. Like some of the provinces, the immigration centre's like 50, 60 k's away. So posting it.
What's the TM47 again?
TM47.
No, let me just go to my Google Drive. Hold on. I've got a
TM. No, let me see. TM47. Have I got one out?
So I got one open with. Come on, open with fucking Brave. Okay.
Where's Mayor Graves? He probably knows this stuff off the top of his head. Is that the certificate of residence?
Oh no, that's the TM47 is the form. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, TM47 is the form. I was going to say, yeah. So when you're doing your 90-day, that's the form you're supposed to have with you.
Yeah.
I guess he meant the TM. You know, a lot of immigration will require you to do a TM47 form as well as your 90-day. Well, that is the 90-day report.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, I have mine printed out without the date on it, and I just got them in my thing. And but if they wanted it, it's already done. I just fucking date it and put it in, but they'd never asked for it. So, you know, maybe I'm just going in there over prepared and nothing really becomes a problem. But they said if they would ask for the form, there you go, date today, signed, it's always the same. But yeah. Chris Brand says Kangaroo Island I've never been to Kangaroo Island, but you know, I've heard it's a pretty good place to hang out.
It's nice. It's very nice. Yeah.
TM has always been required to do a new whenever you return from overseas, even if it's the same address. Most just relaxed the rules. It's still part of the Immigration Act 1979. Yeah, and again, it really comes down to, you know, if you I suppose if you rocked up to immigration in songs, you know, a singlet and boardies, they might get a little bit narcissistic with you. You know, they might just have an issue. You know, if you go reasonably dressed, you know, like the Thais dress, you know, not like a slob farang, you know, they're going to treat you just like everybody else. I had somebody made a comment about that a couple of weeks ago when they did that to him. What, you didn't go in a suit, or no, didn't go in a certain collar and suit and everything? What part of Thailand are you living in? This is not Bangkok immigration, thank you very much.
Yeah.
There is
get dressed up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I put a shirt on. I had my shoes on. I had shirt and shorts, you know, and belt and everything else. I would look presentable. I looked like every other person going into immigration.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. The more people realise, just use your eyes and just look around, and try not to draw attention to yourself. The trouble is with Farangs that they tend to want to draw attention to themselves. like last
Look at me! Look at me!
like last Tuesday night. Oh my God, we're in. It was at Billboard, and like I was getting pretty bored, hanging out with the group was slowly just disappearing. We had 10 people in the entourage, and they would then they were just dropping off like flies per go-go bar, and we got to Billboard around about just after my last train, and then Lee just pulls out a wad of, I think he pulls out 1,000 baht and went to the bar, or got the girl to go and change it for 20 baht notes, and he starts throwing 20 baht notes onto the stage. That livened things up. Then after about an hour of that, I think he went through 2,000 baht like that, just amusing the girls. We just went down to Hillary's too. I kept on forgetting about Hillary's too every time I'm down there. It's a really nice hangout, Live music, and live music that you really can listen to. Although I don't mind live Thai music. It just if it's got a good beat, it's okay, but you can't sing along with the words, Well, I can't anyway. But yeah, so that'll play some good AC/DC and some 70s and 80s rock and all sorts of It was we had 2 bands there, and yeah. I was starting to feel a little bit, rowdy because the fact that that bar, I couldn't get my Smirnoff Ice, and I'd already had like half a dozen. So I was drinking, was it that low-cal beer, the one they put the lemon in the top, or the lime in the top? Corona Light, that's it, yeah. I'm not a beer drinker, and so that started to, feel a little bit, full. I actually put on 1.5 kilos that night just drinking. It's taking me 3 days to get it back to normal. Anyway, enough of my antics. But yeah, just don't draw attention to yourself like we did on Tuesday night. That's what you don't do. Mind you, we were giving away money, so I suppose it's a different situation.
Yeah.
Well, he was. I wasn't. He was throwing the bills around. Yeah. But it was a good night out. Lee only comes once every 6 months over here, so it's good to hang out. He's a financial broker. He has his own brokerage firm. And he was sort of saying the last 12 months has been really, really shit. Basically people are pulling out of his funds and putting it into banks for security. Well, some of the banks are offering 5.5%, on fixed term deposits, yeah. Well, I know my Citibank's doing 3.5% right now. But that's not fixed, that's just in my savings account, yep. my rainy day account, which has the bulk of my cash. But they're doing 3.5%, I think it is. I think I've worked it out to be. But yeah, sort of, and of course US bond rates are doing 4.5%, 5%. Of course that's a stipend system where they pay you every whatever quarter or whatever. But yeah, he's sort of saying people are pulling out of the the riskier funds and putting into secured funds like banks and so on and so forth, just because of the I suppose that's a bit of writing on the wall. The world is not the same as it is. Like I said, it's we've had 2 down cycles in the last 10 years, and look like we're facing another third. Unless of course something happens in the next 6 months, we might have a 3rd down cycle. And here's me want to pull my money out of there, and it's already lost in value. Should have pulled it out in July, shouldn't I? Yeah.
Swings and roundabouts.
No, yeah. Unfortunately, you're not supposed to have 3 down cycles in a 10-year period on my sort of on my portfolio. That's undocumented, uncalled for, and it's basically outside the system. What? So the system's breaking down. But anyway, moving right along. Big fan of your content. Do you really think the new tax issue is going to be going into effect? I was reading, I've got no news articles I'm going to do today, simply because of the fact that I went through the throng of news articles, and it's just like this week has just been a really non-eventful week. We had obviously Miss Universe, and that was the highlight of Sonia's day, watching Thailand come second. I think who was first? Miss Uruguay or something. Australia got 3rd, by the way.
Okay.
So there you go. I get all that news because that's what floats her boat, beauty contest. But yeah, it was the big news on that one there. What else was there? The immigration. There was another article sort of saying that I was reading again on the Immigration Act, and this is saying nothing comes into effect until 2024, and they're also adding there was another stipulation, the fact that it will be starting from 2024, right? So 2023 is not included. Right, so the stuff that they're bringing it in, they have the right to prorata it and backdate it, but there was actually a caveat sort of said the fact that they're not after that. We're just starting it now, and this is how it's going to be going forward. So, but as I said, they keep on sort of saying the same thing. That people like myself who has savings and a superannuation. Then we're not affected because we've already paid tax on that. It's and so the only thing that would come into question is the dual tax agreement between America and Australia that I've signed, because I do have those agreements on I got 4 of those out there for little what they call microeconomy sort of situations. YouTube, Patreon, IMVU, the Second Life, and actually there was another one. I'm trying to think what the other one is. I haven't seen any money come through that from quite some time, but anyway, I've got those tax agreements in place. America taxes 5% automatically, which then comes off any money over 18,000 that I would have paid tax on. That tax comes off. This is why I need to get this all sorted out so that I know it's all lined up. But yeah, until I actually make more than $6,500 a year, right? Because that would be the tax-free threshold for Thailand. Is like once I go over that, that's when the questionable thing might come into play, because there's a tax-free threshold in Australia. Right, there's no tax-free threshold I get from America, basically automatically paying, or for every cent you earn or every dollar you pay 5%, and so therefore mine's a little bit complicated. But as I said, it's only pocket money. It's nothing serious. They're trying to catch the people who are buying and selling property and holding it offshore and not remitting their taxable liabilities. They want to catch the big fish, unfortunately, at a big net, because the big fish, right, they're like sharks and they break through the net somewhere, whereas us little fish, we get caught up in it, We don't have the lawyers to combat the bullshit. I suppose we could. We've paid a lot of money, and then it was, instead of paying the tax, you're paying the lawyers. Yeah. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. So what do you do? Anyway, yeah, so that's about all I can think of sort of on that one, Bob. So, just keep watching. We'll keep it in the loop. But as I said, nothing this week has developed in that area. There's a lot of news going on. It's like, there's been a few shootings. There's been this, that, and the other. Just weird. The normal weird shit you see in Thailand. I just thought it was non-really. That's just Thailand, normal. Everything normal, all fucked up. Well, snafu, that's it, yeah. Situation normal, all fucked up. That's it. Yeah. Is anybody out there who lives in Bangkok and does online reporting, any problems with it? I know I did it twice. Tried to do it 4 times when I was in the Bangkok province. It didn't work 2 times of that 4 times, so I gave up with that, trying to do it as well. Nothing worse than sort of, reducing your 90-day to 83 days. So it's 83-day reporting, did you know, technically, because you've actually got to submit it before, 7 days before, 15 days to 7 days before you've got to submit it. So basically your 90-day reporting becomes an 83-day reporting, which, if you're trying to use a calendar to keep track of things, then it just gets out of fucking hand. I'm pretty sure that's part of the deal. They do it because you're thinking 90 days, and I did it on the 1st of February, right? March, April, May, must be the 1st of May, and then all of a sudden you just missed it by 7 days. 2,000 baht, 2,000 baht, 2,000 baht. I'm sorry, you're late, 2,000 baht. Just a little bit of you've got to have a calendar and keep track of it. Me, I just put it in my calendar and look for the Wednesday day because we can have lunch out there. You know, that's how I do it. It might be 92 days. Who gives a shit?
You got the 7 day before, the 7 day after.
Yeah. But I said, I think if you look at it 90 days, and then of course it actually should be 91 and a bit to get 4 times a year exactly, right? But I always do mine, you know, on the Wednesday or something, so it makes it nice and easy.
Bring in that Gregorian calendar, 28-day months.
Ah, yeah. So
First on every Monday.
and then we'll throw out all the astrology by one star system.
I'll go down that rabbit hole shortly. No.
Yeah.
That Mayor Groves.
Is it true tourists with staying in hotels, the hotel reports immigration stay? Yeah, well that's what they sort of say. The TM30 has always been a function. This is the thing that really, why did it become such a thing? Apart from the fact that they were looking at it finally to try to gain a big wide net because of the things that go on here. So the TM30 has always been there, and it was always tourists. You check into your hotel, it was just never talked about. It was something that was done behind the scenes, and nobody ever got caught. But I think what was happening is, and again, I don't want to single them out, but you know, we've got these, you know, these condos in Bangkok, for instance, where Chinese buy whole floors, right, and then they stick somebody on the lift well, you know, just outside the lift well with a desk, and it's what they call hotels for Chinese travellers. They're coming in for a couple of days at a time, you know, totally illegal, right, because they don't have a hoteliers thing. It's not an Airbnb. It's not. They're doing, you know, short time stays in Bangkok in hotels. What was happening around the TM30? There was a big resurgence of these short time hotels. I'm not talking short time. I'm talking short time, 3 to 5 days. Of Chinese come in, they go to this hotel, right? No questions asked. They check in, pay their money, check out, and all the money goes back to China. They weren't reporting, and the only way to catch them was to enforce the TM30. And that's the big wide net again, and it worked, but basically I think the report sort of said over that 12-month period that it was being enforced, 2/3 of all those Chinese hotels disappeared. And that was just prior to COVID, and then COVID hit, and then the whole thing just collapsed anyway. So was that during COVID? Or okay, geez, that was just before COVID, wasn't it? Or during COVID?
Just before, because
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just before COVID happened.
flagging anything in my brain.
But again, that's just my interpretation. I'm not Tim Newton today. I'm not reading off a script. If you want to watch the news, watch Tim. Tim's a good news presenter. I watch Tim and keep up for, you know, apart from Asian News, which is in my email. I watch Tim every so often to see what's going on. The one thing, of course, we got the marriage bill actually gets presented in Parliament next Tuesday. I was going to talk about that today, but again, you know, like let's wait till after Tuesday to see if it actually passes that first hurdle, and then we should have something to talk about next week on that one. So this Monday we got Loy Katrong, Cody and gang are up in Chiang Mai to see the lanterns being launched. Hopefully we get some nice shots of that, with a bit of video footage. Hopefully they remember to do it landscape so you can see the whole thing. No, it doesn't matter. Your poll is taking half the screen on my phone, is it? Yeah, well, that's something you need to report to them. I suppose I can turn that off in the poll.
You can turn it off on your phone. There's three white dots on the right-hand side. Just hold that and close the poll.
Yeah, so people still want me to run this thing, even though we only have a small following. People still want it to run. That's all I want to. I know I turned this on the end of last stream for about 2 or 3 minutes before the closing. It wasn't really a fair thing. Right. Those advised as of late next year, you will need a TIN and submit a tax return as part of your yearly extension. I heard it from a good source that immigration are looking at it. Yeah, well, this is more than likely. So, I'll be filing nil tax returns. That's what I'll do. There's no income. If you really want the extra paperwork in the already mountainous paperwork you have, that is up to you. Right? For me, I've got nothing to report. So therefore, there's a blank form with my signature. Help yourself. But yeah, I can see why. Again, it's leveling the playing field. Like Thailand has got to come to grips with some of the things that are happening around the world. And this is part of it. The money laundering that goes through Thailand here is actually quite ridiculous because of their no care attitude. As long as it's not affecting somebody else, but obviously now what it's affecting is affecting all those people up there in the stratosphere who don't breathe oxygen. The oxygen supply up there in the stratosphere is getting thinner because there's more people up in the stratosphere now, and they want to close the doors so you can't be part of it. If you know what I mean. What are you doing, Oggy? There he is. There he is. He's popping back in. Glad he's got a shirt on.
Yeah.
The camera froze, didn't it?
It did. You might have died and turned it back off and on again.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Hello, Oggy.
Oggy dog.
Sitting here in my paint splattered wife beater.
How's mother going? Give us a bit of an update on mum, because she's had a few falls lately, hasn't she?
Yeah, and she's losing it mentally. She doesn't realize who I am. She'll say, "When's Tom coming home?" It's like, Mom, I'm Tom.
Yeah.
Well, where's the other one? I go, "What other one?" She goes, the other one that lives here." I go, "Mom, it's just you and I, and the cats. That's it. Nobody else here."
That must get a bit challenging now.
Yeah, it's I just have to keep telling her it's just us. Nobody else is coming home.
Mm-hmm. And she's happy with that once she's assured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, okay."
She still remembers church on Sundays, doesn't she?
Yeah. Send her to church on Sundays. That way, I get an hour and a half of me time.
Yeah. Oggy's the donut king for church on Sundays. He has to run out at what, 6 o'clock?
That's Saturday.
Oh, that's Saturday. Saturday
is the donut day, and then Sunday I run her to church, drop her off, and then we go shopping afterwards. So
right.
it's all fun stuff. But
and like just
yesterday,
just tell the viewers how old she is now.
She's 95. She'll be 96 in 29 days.
Damn! What an innings!
December 23rd.
Will she make the century? Will she make the century?
I don't know. Probably with my luck.
But how is that? Because like part of your plans was to pull up roots there and come to Thailand, wasn't it? So if she's still around, that makes it a bit difficult, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I won't leave until she is.
Yeah, until she departs. Yes.
Until she moves on. So. I may retire and we may travel around the U.S. Because we'll have my Social Security and her Social Security, and we can, my Social Security covers the house, and then her Social Security will cover the travel.
Fair enough.
But there's in January of 2025, there's a Caribbean cruise that I would love to go on. I'm like pitching that to her. It's like, okay, if you're still around, how about the two of us take this cruise?
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 weeks long. It's about $4,000 all inclusive. Which, yeah, I've never been on a cruise. She's been on like 3 or 4 of them. So for her, it's not that big a deal.
That's one thing I've never done. I've never done a cruise ship. I've done lots of things on the harbour, parties on the harbour. I've never done a cruise ship thing.
I was looking at Princess Cruises, and they have a Singapore to Vancouver, Canada. Like a 3-week cruise. It's like, awesome. If I was in Singapore, that might be fun. But they don't have the return trip.
Damn.
It's like, I want the trip that goes from Vancouver, Canada to Singapore.
Sounds like a transit on a frigate. Like work.
Well, I mean, I could go do you know, go hop a tramp freighter and do it, but not something I'm interested in. I'd much rather have the luxury of the multiple restaurants,
Yeah,
captain,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
So Mick's just asking there, so Todd, how was your trip back to Oz and what did you notice is the biggest difference?
Okay. Trip was awesome. Like I said earlier, caught up with Bill, my mate, and married, and him and his lovely wife Kimberly are currently honeymooning at the moment. So caught up with Ma, which was awesome, and Kimbo, of course. But first thing I noticed, petrol price of gasoline to our US mates, $2.20 Australian.
Yeah, I think somebody's ripping somebody off there.
Yeah, $2.20
What are
Australian.
we paying? I'm getting E20 at 36 baht to the litre, so that's 36 baht. I don't want names. Come on, let's translate.
And while you're doing that, and first night staying at my house where Kimbo is, it's now Kimbo's house, technically. Bought snacks and a few bits and pieces for a catch up, and blew my complete monthly budget here in Thailand in one shop. I kid you not. So,
What was that?
yeah,
Just crisps and beer.
crisp beer, sort of some salami and cheese and crackers and things like that. Just sit outside and chat and everything, and I'm just going, wow. What was the other thing that just it's depressing in some of the stores. Like there's no, oh, thanks for shopping with us or anything like I did for a while. Have the public relations cap on, and it's just like none of that. It was just like, okay, I won't go back here again. Whereas here in Thailand, I'd say 99% of the places I go in, they call it the land of smiles, and it still is the land of smiles. And even when I came back through immigration this time, it was land of smiles. I spoke Thai, and they thought it was awesome. Asked everything in Thai, thanked them in Thai, and they got through immigration in what was it, 7 minutes?
Nice and easy.
Nice and easy. And it's like you were saying before, it's all about your attitude and everything like that. So it was a drain to keep and I have to say it, my Thai attitude in Australia, where I was happy, smiling, trying to engage. And that's the one thing I noticed. It's so hard to engage, whether it's just people are that worn out with what's been going on for the last 2 years, or worn out with, I don't know. Kimbo was the same. Kimbo was awesome. He was happy doing his thing. And that's one thing I really enjoyed. I saw Kimbo's band for the first time. Kimbo's new blues and jazz band.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was a fun night. But that was at a RSL. And I got to say, our age group, they were smiling, they were happy, they were having a good time. But that was the main thing. Was just noticing the different attitude of people. Because I had to help Mum out a bit doing some chores and everything, because Mum's turning 80 next year. So it was just some upkeep of the house and everything. Even going to places like Bunnings wasn't too bad, but I'll use Bunnings as an example. It's not the one I'm referring to, but there was no sort of thanks for shopping or whatever. It was like I had to physically, at one store, and I'm not going to mention it, walk around for 10 minutes trying to find someone to help me because I couldn't find what I was after. Whereas I go to somewhere like Tai What to Do or
Oh,
Home
yeah.
Pro,
Yeah.
there's a person every 5 meters.
Well, that's the thing. When like I keep on reading about the advent of the self checkouts, and this is a big thing in Australia now. Self checkouts, comments I see people wanting to go. They do the self checkout, and then they're fucking checking that you've done it properly, right? And people are now just saying, well, if you don't think I did it properly, open a fucking register, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's up to you, right? You're now accusing me of theft, right? I will have you in fucking court if you want to fucking go down that road. Right? But self checkouts. When do they get fucking when do they get their superannuation guarantee levy? And they're working for the fucking.
If you're trying to speak, I'll give you. I can't hear you, mate. I don't think. You've got to push your button.
Oh, I was just saying that they're starting to do away with that at some of the stores here in the U.S. Walmart's finding out that they're losing too much money.
Yeah, that's it.
And
the 5-figure discount.
Too many of these social account videos of people being accosted by the security guard as they're going out the door, saying, "No, you can't leave. I got to see your receipt." And people saying, "I don't want to show you my receipt. Screw you." And
Well, when I go shopping at the Big C, although every tire doesn't get checked, we just always have it in my hand, and I walk out the door. I'm going through a register, and I still hand on the receipt. I'm happy to, she knows this.
They do that. And when you go through a register, you self-check at Walmart.
But that's the thing. Thailand we have people here. We have service people on the floor here in Thailand in about every shop you go to, right? Because they can afford to have people on the floor. Right.
Well, when I go to get donuts at 6 o'clock in the morning, guess what? The only checkout available is the self checkout. They've got one gal sitting there watching the 4 self checkouts, and unless you ask them, could you please open the register? You have to go through self checkout.
I wouldn't do a fucking self checkout. That's because I got a discount.
Well, that's my thing. It's like, you want me to do your job for you? You need to give me a 5% discount on my grocery.
And that's the other thing that they're pushing now, is the fact that we haven't seen any lowering prices in the supermarket. You've taken the cash registers away. Well, doesn't that mean lower costs? Doesn't that mean lower?
Higher profit.
No, it's just higher profit. And I think that's what's coming now. Well, higher profits don't mean service, and I think that'll eventually die in the ass. We were talking about this the other day, though, was that they keep on trying to push the cashless society. I know Australia's now got rules. Banks can no longer take deposits in cash over $10,000.
Correct.
Right, and they get that bar will get lowered over the years, but the biggest problem with Australia, I see it, is the fact that any cash transfer you do electronically has a fucking bank stipend on it, some sort of bank fee, no matter what you're doing. Well, Thailand is almost a cashless society effectively now. We still have cash; it's there if you want it, but 9 times out of 10, I just you got a QR code, bing, bing.
Yeah.
No charges. They get exactly what you give them.
Yeah.
And it makes the system work. You see all those transactions going through, right?
Yeah.
If that's the sort of monitoring you want, get rid of the fucking bank fees, guys. Right? Make it a cashless society. Cash doesn't have a fee. If you want a cashless society, the cash transfers have to be feeless. End of story. Right? And but that's just my opinion anyway.
That's like, I had ate lunch at a restaurant today. Well, it's 5% more if you pay with a card versus giving them cash.
Well, that's because that's a third party. Don't forget the credit card systems are a different system, and that has a whole infrastructure. It used to be they weren't allowed
to do that. It was a violation of their agreement with the credit companies.
Was it?
That they couldn't charge a fee for use of the card. If they want the convenience of accepting the cards, they had absorbed that fee.
Yeah.
And they're actually through, I think it's through Congress or the Senate, whatever, they're trying to go and get rid of what they call junk fees, and that's part of that. We got gas stations that charge a 45-cent fee if you use a card. for your fill up. Well, 45 cents on 10 gallons, that's 4.5 cents. All of a sudden, you're paying 4.5 cents more a gallon.
Mm.
If you only need 3 gallons, you're paying 15 cents more a gallon.
Yeah.
It's like, just, add a penny to the cost of your fuel. Don't sit there and advertise lowest fuel
Mm.
and then charge me 45 cents to fuel up and
Yeah.
use my debit card.
Mm. But it's the way things are going, unfortunately. This is what we got, it's just all taxes of one sort or another, that's all.
Well, a conversation I had with a few of my old mates around at Kimbo's was that governments, and you and I have spoken about, was there a need to recoup what they handed out over the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
The only way governments can recoup funds is via taxes. So,
Yeah.
it's just, it'll be a vicious circle, and it's only my thoughts for the next 3 to 5 years. It will be a vicious circle where they've got to recoup.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. income tax system was supposed to be a temporary tax that was implemented, I think, during World War II, and it hasn't gone away.
No.
It's like they said, "Oh, this is just gonna be a temporary thing." Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Once the government gets their hand in your pocket, they never take it out.
Mick's just mentioned about the cashless transfers. I was there when the carrier went down in Australia, Mick, and that caused a lot. And all they did was sort of say, okay, we'll give you some extra data as compensation. It closed literally, I'd say,
half the country.
It literally did. You could not. I was lucky that I can still connect via Line. That I was able to chat with you and a couple other people I've got onto Line because it's all data related. But Mum tried to get hold of me for 2 days, and she was starting to freak out a little bit because she couldn't get hold of me. And I said, "Not my fault, Ma."
Well, the biggest problem is the fact that it's no longer dealt with in Australia. It's done through overseas partners. And as overseas partners now run the show, and if you've ever had a phone complaint with Optus, even when I was in Australia, hello, can I help you? Like in an Indian accent. Yeah, well, like, I need you to turn the damn thing back on. Oh, okay, no problem. And then they go away, and 3 hours later it's done. It's just a fucking switch. Here, I've had problems every so often with 3BB. All I have to do is just log the call. And they're so helpful. They want to do this, they want to do that. I'll get the engineer to ring you. No, and I found over the 7 years I've been dealing with it, it just needs a phone call just to log it, and it gets done. And it gets done within 15 minutes. I think the last time we had that last Tuesday a week ago, when it was just flaking off every 5 minutes. That was in the integration with AIS. And made a phone call, bang, bang, within 15 minutes it stabilised. It was cool after that. And of course, then I still had to stay home. I did it back from Wednesday or whatever it was had to cut our lunch straight short and all that sort of stuff because they said they're going to come round. Anyhow, they did call at 3 o'clock. Is it still working? Is it working okay now? And yes, it's fine now. And I thought, okay, not have to come out. But that's the thing. What I'm getting at is society needs to have a service industry. Right? If we don't have a service industry to do all that sort of stuff, then society just breaks down. And I think this is one of the things that I've always looked at Thailand as being complementary to that type of regime. They are a service-oriented people, right? And they love to give service. And it's part of their nature to give service. Okay, give them a tip if you feel the service was good. It's up to you. We always joke about the up to you status here in Thailand, but really it is up to you. If you don't make waves and just blend in with society and learn a few words of Thai and just behave yourself, like a normal human being, you will have the most wonderful time living here in Thailand. Right? If you want it to be like Australia, go back to fucking Australia and do it over there, at higher costs and higher taxes. Right? But just go with the flow. Anyway, we can say that till the cows come home. I think only a few of us get it. I think the people here that join in, they get it. At least I hope they get it anyway. Was it Cashly for me? What happens using an overseas bank account paying on Thai Q? Oh, that was a good one, Chris. I don't know that answer, and I think we'd have to hand that one to Robert. Maybe he's tried to use it like that, but
my bank account apps for Australia, because I've still got those because of the pension and everything like that, does not have the facility to scan a QR. So
I could imagine when it comes, if it was possible, then the QR code, then you'd be a bank fee and a less than market rate equivalence transfer, because you'd have to be doing it's Australian bank. You've got Australian cash in that. They'd have to, your 25 baht fucking grapao mu, right? Well, that's going to be 25 baht plus five baht for inconvenience to the bank, and then of course a market rate of 3 points below market average, right? So it's going to cost you if it did come in. So I wouldn't be doing it anyway. Look, ideal is fairly straightforward. If you're staying over here, getting a bank account here in Thailand is fairly straightforward. I highly recommend Kasakon Bank. A little bit more stringent with some of the rules, but Tabian Barn, pink ID card,
Yep.
and once we explained the fact that that's all we need, because the girl on the desk didn't understand when I got mine set up. Where's your work visa? I said, I'm sorry, but I'm a retiree, I don't need one. She had to go and get that authorised by her senior, because that checkbox
it wasn't
didn't.
a normal
That checkbox that didn't exist on the form, so it had to be signed off by a senior. But and I've had the same bank. I still think I should move my account from Patkisam over to the one across the road at Dallasiri here. But again, it's not been a problem. I've been able to walk in there and get bank statements, for immigration and drop of a hat. Well,
Yeah.
and 300 baht.
Yeah. But I've got mine coming up in the next week, and basically what I'm going to do is go into, because I'm the same, I'm Casacorn. When I got mine set up, if people are looking at doing it, it was the certificate of residence, it was a copy of my passport, and I had to show them my pension letter. That was it. And they were more than helpful. I remember talking to you about it, that I got some free gifts, so they were that happy to serve me. It goes back to the service thing. They were that happy to serve me. I got, I think it was an umbrella and a towel and a cap or something, just by becoming an account holder at that bank. And that was in Celia. So I haven't dealt with the Casacorn here in Bang Chung, but they'll do that next week, and got to get my statement sorted, but I'll pay for my statement, and that puts that day transaction on your statement. Yeah. Because you have to have that day transaction. So.
Yeah, no, the bank book only gets used once a year,
Yeah.
But it's again bizarre systems, but hey, it's fine. That's your system. It seems to work when it works. Haven't had a problem with it. Jen reckons I'm preaching. Preaching what? Preaching to converted. Soon impossible to pay cash here in Sweden. You bought a TV today for 60k baht and need to check around. What is this? Oh no, we don't have a new pet. What is this? Oh my God.
Labrador, black Labrador.
Black Labrador. Hey, cutie. Hello.
Pretty boy.
Hello. Not ours, is it? Not ours? No.
Keep her gift for you free.
No, I don't want a dog.
Labrador, black.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she give for free. No people to him go. If no have people to be.
But you know how big they get? They get so big.
Him die.
Is that C for reincarnated?
C for reincarnated.
And
So you're going to have to get a sex, get it neutered and everything else. Hello. Oh my God. Don't make me fall in love with another pet. Really. I have to sort this one out.
เก่ง
take a Say
Just
hello.
tell Shane
Say,
to be careful of that towel.
yeah, she's still on a towel.
I don't see
Oh, it's sort of getting a bit risque here.
I'm not
Okay,
speak
calm.
แดกกี้
Okay, take now, take.
ชื่อแดกกี้
Oh my
เอาโห
god.
ตัวมันหนักตึงแค่
Oh my god. Labrador, yeah, how big they get? God. Yeah, I don't want a
They
Labrador.
get to be good sized dogs.
You got a dog now, was it?
She says if you don't take it, it'll die. That's a thing. Oh, the silly dog.
Guilt trip.
Guilt trip. Yes, I know. I thought I was rolling in some, reducing some of the weekly costs because it was cat food we were buying. Now we're going to be buying twice as much dog food. Oh my god.
Oh, more like 5 times as much.
Oh, they'll eat scraps as well. Cat doesn't eat scraps where dogs do. So.
Yeah.
Except for peas. I still can't get over Monty, like you give him a plate of scraps that had peas in it. And the bowl would be completely licked clean except for these little round things in the bottom of it. I have no idea how he could eat everything else around the peas. He just would not eat peas. I don't know. Dogs. The cost of living here is really impacting people's lives. Yeah, it is having a bit of an issue, yes. Things are a bit tighter. But I say again, I was talking about this. I don't know if we did it on the stream, but mother went to Sukhothai the other week, and pretty much gave father all her money, and that she had because mother gives to the family, And she gets back, and then she fucking basically broke it open the piggy bank. She was counting out, stacking all the 10 baht coins on the. So I'd reached in my pocket and I had a whole bunch of change. I put on the. There you
No,
go.
that's not just me. I do the same thing with my 10 baht coins. But that's only for the vending machines and stuff like that.
Oh,
when I
yeah.
do the quilt washing.
But things are tough, and although business is starting to pick up at the salon again because she's regularly going to the salon, I think people it is that time of the year as well. The rain has stopped. We've got clear blue skies out there, absolutely looking wonderful. Perfect summer days, Australia-wise. What they call 23 to 32 degrees Celsius. And it's just the best time of the year.
Unless you're living in Melbourne, where it goes from 12 to
Where's
32
Melbourne?
and back to 12.
Where's Melbourne? That's not part of Australia, is it?
Marky Mark's not with us today.
Uh,
Haven't seen him pop up.
Chris was watching a guy vlog beer prices in Bangkok. Beer same price Robert messaged me last week and he says everything we talked about that beer last week was all wrong. As I said, it was just an article. The big point I'd make there is, although the fact that I'm reading a blog article which is fairly recent, right? This is what the AIs use. What was that? Joy. We did that before, didn't we?
What?
Oh, there was another 20.
Yeah, he gave you for the dog bed.
Oh, for the dog bed. Oh my God. So I'm scrolled back a bit here. Go the puppies. I know.
Hello, $20 for a banana.
But it's just
Well, it was $14 for a single lettuce in Australia not that long ago.
What?
Yeah.
We're like 99 cents a head here.
$14 for a single head of lettuce. I don't know what it is now because
Well, I do believe lettuce are hard to buy here too because they're not cheap in the supermarket. You can't buy them anywhere else out there because it's not standard fare. But I can get an iceberg lettuce from places like what do you call it? The one up in what's
Food
that
Lane.
one? Not Food Lane. I haven't seen them in food. No, I'm talking the Tops. Tops do have a pretty good green selection there. But lettuce is only good at hamburgers. I don't really eat it any other time. And only you can get it, like the kebab I had last night. This is typically my, run up Dalit Syria. I got a pale mule, PopeKael, right, 25 baht. Still 25 baht from that little store. So I haven't seen a rise in price for 2 years in there. And the kebab, which is like it's unleavened bread, which is sliced off the kebab stick, chicken, with a bit of greenery. That was 49 baht. That was my dinner last night. It was very, very yummy.
Chris just said that his prices are normal again. No, well, I didn't go too bad grocery shopping, Chris, because after my first trip there to just get snacks, I didn't go shopping again because it blew my monthly tie back.
What you doing,
One
darling?
shop in Australia.
What you doing?
Oh, you got clothes on now, Shania. Good to see.
See, you have clothes on. You want to go back in the room, do you?
What you do?
I'm talking to everybody. Say hello. Say hello.
I don't see you talk with them.
Don't worry,
Hello,
Shania.
boss.
It's only me.
Hello,
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 Cass.
hello.
Hi.
Oh, nom yai, nom yai.
Hey.
Nom yai. Oi, oi.
I saw that. That's domestic abuse.
Oh, domestic abuse. Oh, we gotta love it though. Right, 60 baht at a Bangkok is sort of a bit so more expensive. Happens if we do it at grain grass, $20. Absolutely crazy prices. And we're at our minute. We're at our hour already. God, I think I'll stop doing news. We'll just talk amongst ourselves. Is that better? Talking amongst ourselves? That's a better way to go, I think. Especially when we've got the people. This is what I mean sort of saying. We just need more people in the chat. And we just talk amongst ourselves, fuck everybody else. I think that, and we're still waiting for the 9 Brady Bunch thing, but that'll happen. That'll happen one day.
It'll happen one day.
Anyway, we've got some gaming to do. We're a day out from Horde night. I've got a few ideas to. I was watching. I'd love to.
Yeah.
It's Horde night now. You've been playing, haven't you? You've rolled it along. We're in last day now.
2:30 in the morning on day 1.
Oh, yeah, okay, right. There's a video I'll send a link. I was watching a video last night. He had 100 tips for how Horde bases work, which you might want to watch. I got a few clues on what to do as well. How to sort of basically slow them down, so they don't bunch up everywhere. Because when they bunch up,
I know where I'm going. I've got my tower all.
Oh, you
set
got
up.
your tower all set up, yeah.
PNB mining
PNB mining. Anyway, we're going to get out of
down the
here.
road from my house.
We're going to get out of here. Again, I think that we've just got to try to see if we can focus on this type of stream. Talk about anything that might be happening, but more about the people talking. Excuse me. And I want another cup of coffee, so.
Happy
Well-
Loy Krathong for Monday, everybody.
Yes, Loy Krathong is Monday. Well, there'll be different places do it different times.
Do they?
It is a lunar calendar thing technically, but it's obviously, Chiang Mai, I think, doing it tomorrow, I think. Tonight. No, they might be doing the Mount Lance tonight. I don't know. That's why Cody and all the crew are up there anyway. But yeah, the Lantern Festival, I think it's a little bit different. So that's Ling. What do they call it? It's another name for it, not like it's wrong. Ling P or something. Ling. I can't remember the name.
Well, I got to hit the log. I'll be right.
Yeah, you got to go. Okay. Well, we're going to just wrap it up. Going to find the closing screen. Get the frick out of here and closing screen, and we'll bounce over to Twitch and probably stream our antics on Twitch. So we'll catch you guys later, I guess. Peace out. Great to have you along. We'll talk to you next week. There will be videos next week. Just nothing happened this week. It was an absolute nothing week. I had a hangover. Well, I didn't hangover. I just was couldn't really talk properly on Wednesday morning. I just had too much beer. So we went and had lunch and just didn't shoot anything because it was just we just went and had lunch and did shopping and nursed my poor health, which is now only just getting back. I've got to stop that drinking bullshit. I don't know how other people do it. I can't drink. I can't drink to excess. I had 1 or 2, but I can't drink to excess anymore. It just knocks me stupid. It really does. Anyway, I'm out of here. Closing screen. We're gone. Peace out, guys. Love you and leave you.